Hey guys, Phil here, aka Polygoing. Welcome to episode 2 on the channel, titled The Waiting Game. I'm still playing Dark Souls. I've been playing now for about 2 weeks and maybe some change compared to the week and a half I was at it in episode 1, so hopefully we'll see some improvement when matches finally do come along amidst the waiting game. And that, of course, is a product of me being a noob EWB versus a noob OOB, as I discussed in great length and great redundancy in the last episode. I suck because I just don't know any better, but I'm actively trying to improve, versus a noob OOB is somebody that just sucks, fancies himself a badass, but uses pretty limited techniques, backstab fishing or R1 spamming or things like that, and will never really graduate beyond that. So I apologize in advance for any sucking and assure you that I will get better. I can't actually assure you of that, but I can assure you I will try to get better. So in the background, you can see me waiting around for some matches, trying to improve my technique, trying to improve my skill set, and I'm just doing some experiments with my various steps and whatnot. Here's a little trivia that I've learned while waiting. So I'm going to measure all of these in steps, which is the distance you travel while slow walking. A jump back, like your little just hop back technique thing, goes 2 steps backwards. Pretty neat. And I've also learned that a forward roll goes 3 steps. Pretty neat. Great useful information in your PvPing and PvEing there, in how far those things travel. Might be, so in case you like jump off a ledge. I don't know, I digress. Anyways, I'm not sure if this is as big of an issue on the console versions. I'm playing on the PC. I'm in North America. I'm actually in California with all the surfers and beautiful women. And seems to be, I think it's just the nature of this being a console port on the PC. The user base isn't quite as big. Plenty of people playing, plenty of matches and things like that. But I will go for long expanses of time where I don't run into anybody. No invasions, all failed invasions, no summon signs, no fog gates, no nothing. And I've heard that the PS3 is pretty hopping because everybody in the world that has a PS3 is playing on the same server grid or server farm or whatever, however they link all this stuff up. So you'll get guys from Japan and guys from Russia and guys from India and guys from Italy and guys from North America, Pacific Islands, all on the same set of servers, all being able to connect with each other. So no matter what time of day you're playing, it's prime time somewhere, so you're going to get matches. Xbox, I don't think, is sliced up that way. I think Xbox servers are organized like the Demon Souls server, where there's a North American server, there's a European server, and there might be like a Pacific server or something like that. A couple different ones, so I've heard that's a little bit more sporadic as well. I do want to apologize for some of the boring scenery here as my character waits around for some PvP matches. I sped up a lot of it to try and minimize some of the pain, but I did want to illustrate the point that there are long periods of time where just nothing happens. In this particular instance, I got a fog gate, so I got all excited. I moved into my corner. I'm like a racehorse just pawing at the ground, champing at the bit, ready to go, man. Here we go. Invade. Nothing happens. And I caught a little funny clipping glitch here where even my tune seems to be a little bit peeved with the toe tapping as nobody comes through. And the frustration is compounded because I recorded these clips on Saturday, this past Saturday, which would be July the 27th. And I was looking forward all week to some Saturday afternoon Dark Souls PvP, man. I got set up. I went down to my local brew pub, picked up a growler, a stout. It was kind of a cloudy, rainy afternoon. And my other half had to work, so I had like the place to myself. I had nothing to do except drink my beer and play some fucking Dark Souls PvP. And so, while I'm waiting around for stretches of 14 to 18 minutes at a time, doesn't seem like that long, but I mean, when you are fired up and you are ready to go and you're ready to take on the world, it's kind of frustrating when you're just waiting and waiting and waiting. So here's a little look at my gear. I'm going through here, just checking some of my equipment. I just wanted to show you guys my stats, my build, all that kind of thing, in case you're interested. I know people are interested in stuff like that. But then I'm also thinking, I start getting a little bit desperate and thinking, okay, maybe the matchmaking gods hate sword users, so I'm gonna switch to a spear. Maybe that'll help. Maybe a spear is better luck than a Silver Knight sword. To no avail. And so with that, I will cap my whining and try and get into a little bit more constructive information, some constructive commentary. I'll talk about technical limitations on like the invasion system and the summoning system, if you're not familiar with that. I'll talk about some of the, I was going to say spiritual, but not spiritual, like some of the intangible qualities of going long periods of time between PvP matches, things in terms of like falling out of a streak or going cold. I definitely think PvP is groovy in that, groovy in terms of streaky, not in terms of, hey man, that's a groovy tune, man. Getting on a groove or falling out of a groove, like a record. But for now, we've got a match. Hopefully our PvP drought is broken. Dude shows up with his dragon form, buffs his Zweihander, which has me a little apprehensive because I'm not that great with my toggle escapes yet. But we'll go at it. We start the initial dance of feeling each other out, just a little footwork, some little pokes. I'll start off with a nice little kick, try and hit him off of that, but he Darkwood Grain Rings away. And doesn't matter. We got a match. Saturday afternoon's commencing. Here we go. Lo and behold, another guy shows up, so I'm feeling pretty good now. The drought is broken. I back off a little bit because I'm imagining these guys have been struggling to find some PvP as well. I want to see if they go at it. They don't, so I continue going. Take a nice thrust to the chest, get trapped in a dragon roar, and proceed to roll away, yet lag stabbed. So that sucks. After all that waiting, after all that patience/impatience, I get put down like a rabbit dog by a buffed weapon Hornet Ring lag stab. Pretty weak. And so, boo-hoo-hooing and woe-is-meing aside, back to some of the more constructive commentary. For a lot of the new players out there that might not know this, like I didn't know this, the multiplayer system is pretty straightforward. You have one slot for invasions, somebody forcefully entering your world, and then you have 2 slots for summons, and those can be 1 for helpful phantoms, 2 depending on your covenant. On some covenants give you an extra summon slot for helpful phantoms, and then 1 for hurtful phantoms, red phantoms for dueling and just kind of PvPing and things like that. But only 1 invasion slot, and that includes Dark Moonblades, that includes guys using cracked Red Eye Orbs, that includes Dark Wraiths and Forest Hunters if you're in the forest. So it can be pretty costly if an invasion fails when you're trying to establish a rhythm in PvP. You get a failed invasion, your fog gates go up, your bonfires go out, you can't use your invasion items, you can't drop your red signs, and you can't see. There seems to be a glitch in the game where you can't see other red signs either. So you're just kind of stuck in this limbo waiting for a guy that will never show up with the failed invasion. And in terms of establishing a rhythm, I find that incredibly important as a new player, having these rapid fire matches in quick succession, because it makes it really easy to rapidly iterate on your technique and things that you're trying out. This didn't work, I'm never going to do that again, or I'm going to try it one more time. No, it didn't work that time either, and now I get a big red, you died. And when you have these long spaced out matches like I'm experiencing here, or you have these failed summons where you can go up to failed invasions where you can go up to 5 minutes before things clear up, and you can even sit down at a bonfire again, it hurts. It can be pretty expensive because you don't get that opportunity to quickly test things out. Retention, for me at least, seems a lot worse over sporadic matches because I often don't remember what I tried and failed at initially, and then I'll try and fail at it again, and then sort of jogs the memory of like, oh yeah, that doesn't work. So it can be pretty costly with the invasion system. I'm not sure if the glitch I mentioned in terms of the limbo period is real. Actually, I'm going to pause for a second and look that up so I'm not just like spewing bullshit. I'm already spewing bullshit, but I don't want to spew falsehoods. Bullshit's fine. I don't want to spew falsehoods. Let me check that out. Okay, verified. So yeah, that is a real thing where there's I guess a glitch in the Prepare to Die edition where if you get a failed invasion, you can enter this sort of weird nothing state where your fog gates are up, no bonfires, blah blah blah, all the things I mentioned earlier. So that's legit, and that can hurt. That can really hurt in terms of establishing your groove, or in terms of pulling a Stella, in which case you get your groove back. But I'm fairly impatient, so I'll start goofing around. I'll start pulling stupid shit like this, kicking bonfires, light, damn you. And it just sort of snaps you out of PvP mode, right? You kind of goof around, you kind of get mentally unprepared for the battle at hand. That makes it sound much more serious than it is, right? You get your game face on. It's a game, it's not very fucking serious to begin with. But I mean, kicking corpses off of ledges, just screwing around, things like that, leaves you fairly unready for when somebody does kind of come through the fog gate, or invade your world, or one of your summons succeeds, you're much more likely to get your ass handed to you on a Silver Knight platter because you have just been dicking around. Versus the other guy who's probably much more prepared. He's probably had a much shorter wait time than you, and he's going to show up ready for blood. He's going to show up ready to fuck you up as his job, right? As an invader, or even as a summon sign, even if there's honor involved, if it's a duel. You know, he's probably not sitting around on the other end of that duel waiting as long as you are. I don't know what I'm doing here. I think I'm trying to kick the summoning failed sign when it shows up. There it is. Get out of here, summoning failed. We don't want you. Work. And of course, there are many more productive things I could be doing. I'm a host in this area, so clearly I haven't cleared it. I could be doing PvE. I could be running around in the meantime. That's not what I'm looking for, though. I'm looking for PvP currently on my Saturday afternoon with my growler of beer, as aforementioned. And the other thing, there seems to be not a lot of hosts. I have a lot more success, at least in Ulasil, being a host than I do invading. And that kind of grinds my gears a little bit, but that's probably another story. So I want to keep my hostship status here and be able to keep getting some decent PvP. So finally, somebody shows up. I think it was 18 minutes sped up over the course of that. He's got his some kind of magic weapon. I'm going to assume greater magic weapon, his scythe. I have just been fucking around, so I eat one in the chest. I trade him a kick. Not a good exchange. And I'm just kind of dancing around. I'm trying to get back into the groove. He caught me with a nice dead angle there. Those leaping slashes. There's another one. So clearly my game is off. I mean, I'm not that good to begin with, but I'm not going to just sit there and take hits. He breaks out the pyro. Try and give him a little jab, run away, roll away. Rolling around like a fool. Parrying. It was, I think, my first successful block. And he catches me with a dead angle right there, which was really fucking nice. Great job, Scythe guy. I mean, kudos to you. That's what I get for goofing around and not bringing it. And that'll actually bring us to the close of this. It's a two-part video because I am a new uploader and I am restricted by YouTube's 15-minute limit. It's a two-part series that involves this waiting game. In the next one, I actually get some wins. Things start coming in a little bit more rapid fire. It's sort of the demonstration of what I was talking about earlier in terms of establishing a rhythm and being able to battle a lot quicker. Stay tuned for that one. Thanks for checking it out. Summoning failed. See you guys in part 2.